both इधर बहुत ही टू फुल शो ना बोल दीजिए ऐसे सर in here ठीक है you look at Ali from here not from here
okay from here
to the screen
okay
that's it
Brother Mukhtarim, how are you? Okay?
yeah more alhamdulillah
Yeah, good. Alhamdulillah, it's been a busy day. So we're just going to kick off. So, Assalamu alaikum, good evening, everyone. My name is Mr. Ali. Welcome to the Community Wellbeing Show. Thank you for rejoining us. We've had a mammoth of a evening today where we've had now 2 shows already that have been completed. The first one was Jenny Wilkinson, who is the Lib Dem West Midlands mayoral candidate who came and put her case as to why she should be the next mayor on the 6th of May. And then after that, we had Brother Ikhlaq talking about the importance of completing the census and able to capture the Kashmiri identity as well. So we are recognized as a community. Last and not least, we have Brother Mukhtarim Shah, who is a community champion here in Alam Rock, who's going to be talking about the importance of encouraging his Pashtun community to make sure that they take up the vaccine as well. So again, please, if you can, get involved, put your questions, comments on. The studio number is 0121 682 9735 as well. So how are you, my brother Mukhtarim?
I'm alright alhamdulillah.
Mashallah. I always see you doing some amazing and fantastic work, and that is lovely to see. And it is about time that we had also you come into studios and use your incredible influence and your platform to let the Pashtun community know that, you know, the COVID lockdown is still not over. We have to maintain social distancing and also make sure that they encourage the vaccine uptake. But before we sort of get to that, I just want to know from your perspective and from your family and friends from a Pashtun community, how bad has COVID been in terms of lives and livelihoods?
It's been very hard for people that have been working, especially the taxi drivers, because quite a few in the Pathan community have died from COVID. Even my sister-in-law had it, but she survived. And she went through she was in intensive care and coma for over 1.5 months, and she took over 3 months in hospital. They transferred her from one hospital to another, but alhamdulillah she recovered and she's back.
No, absolutely. We've had a number of people that have passed away. We know Umar Afzal was one of our radio presenters. He passed away from COVID, and plus many. I mean, I'm on various groups, and the amount of Pashtuns, people from Salihana, that sort of era have passing away. You know, it's almost like 5 or 6 well-known figures. I'm not talking about everyone, just well-known that I recognize or they're related to someone that are passing away each week. It's just incredible as well. So, you know, and the fact that we weren't able to, you know, attend the funeral or, you know, go to people's houses and grieve and mourn makes it even more difficult for the families.
Yeah, but the only thing we could do just ring them on the phone and give our condolences because of the lockdown and COVID restrictions.
Yeah. And also, Brother Mukhtarim, you know, people, you know, thinking, oh, if I don't go to their house, what will they say? They're going to complain. You know, you haven't been to anyone's house. I haven't been to any. No. So did anyone complain, Mukhtarim, you didn't come and do condolence, or were they understanding?
No, very understanding. I just phoned them on their mobiles and gave my condolences, and I didn't go to nobody's house.
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't even go to my brother's house when my nephew passed away in April last year.
Well, there you go.
That's how hard it's been.
Yeah. So, you know, this is what I'm saying. You know, people tell us that the Muslims, the Asians, the Pakistanis aren't adhering to the lockdown. They, you know, they're doing as they will. Prime example here, Brother Mukhtarim, whose own nephew passed away, and he was making sure that he was compliant and that he was a good citizen of this country by not, you know, breaking the lockdown rules. So a real tough time for all of us. You also mentioned about the livelihoods as well. You know, a lot of our families are self-employed. 70% of Pakistanis are more self-employed compared to the white population. So when we are talking about self-employed, I'm talking about the clothing sector, I'm talking about the hospital hospitality sector. I'm talking about the retail sector. I'm talking about taxi drivers as well. These have been severely impacted by COVID, whereby, it's one thing, your health, but it's more compounded when you know that you're struggling to make ends meet. The kids were at home, the bills were getting more and more, but your income had been affected. So it was a real struggle for the Pashtun community, in particular, to survive the last year. It's been really tough. Have you got any cases where, your family or your friends have talked to you that how bad it's been for them?
Yeah, a lot of them are fed up because of the lockdown and the restrictions, so they've been all stuck at home. So mentally, it's probably affecting everybody.
Yeah.
And because when everything was open, everybody could go everywhere. But now when it's lockdowns, restrictions, it affects everybody's mental health. And the best thing anybody can do is walk and take walks in the park and do that form of exercise to help your mental health.
No, Layla, I hope you're going to stay on for about another 5-10 minutes. We will address that particular question. We just haven't come round to it. I don't want you leaving that because that's a valid question, but I want you to make sure that you are satisfied before you dial off, if that's okay. Thank you. So you mentioned about how important it is to maintain a good mental health. I always see you're young, you're always smiling. What's the secret to having good mental health and a smile on your face?
Good mental health, eating well, a healthy diet and exercise to keep your immune system active. Because if you walk and exercise or you jog or you do some form of activity to keep you healthy, and you have a good healthy diet and you don't eat greasy foods and junk foods and stuff like that, because that doesn't help.
You're right. The only thing is when I go to the park, Brother Mukhtarim, there's still a small minority that will come and they want to give you a bear hug. They want to shake your hands, and not being disrespectful. I just do this here. So look, it's okay, thank you, do that. But not everyone understands. They say, look, it doesn't matter, it's man-made, there's no coronavirus. How would you answer those people?
I would do social distance and stay well away from them, because we're not allowed to shake a hand or hug anybody, no matter if you know them as friends or whatever, because that's a big risk we will be taking. Yeah. We don't want to catch COVID at the end of the day.
No, but when, for example, I met you in the park.
Yeah.
I say, oh, Mukhtarim, how are you? I'll come over and try and hug you.
I would do the same thing. I would do that.
Do that, yeah. No, thank you, Brother Mukhtarim. But I do that, and there's one or two people just say, look, what are you doing? Are you a Muslim, or what are you do? Why are you being so arrogant? And I say, look, it's not about that. It's about good practice as well. So even in the Prophet's time, it said if there is a contagious virus or a disease, for those people that are already in that area, don't leave, and for people that are outside the area, don't go in there. And this is the main contact that you pass it through breathing and through touch. So it's incumbent on us to not to pass it on as well, because we may be okay, but when we go home, if you've got elderly parents, they won't be able to suffer from having COVID.
That's very true, because it's more of a high risk to the elderly people. And in our community, we've got a lot of people that have got illnesses, we've got diabetes, blood pressure problems, all the health conditions. So if the virus comes near any of them, they can end up very severely ill and end up in a hospital.
Well said. Just going to go through some of the points and comments on Facebook now. Welcome to the show, sir. Mukhtarim giving you a great welcome by Pops Hussain. So thank you, Pops. Obviously, may he rest in peace about your nephew and Brother Umar as well, who passed away from our radio Aapki Awaaz. Don't forget the takeaways, absolutely. So Layla, I've read your comment. We will come on to that shortly. Pops Hussain, it is completely safe. I had it and I'm watching the show from home right now. Do not worry about anything, to go for it. And that's what we need. We need more people who have had the vaccine to encourage people. There is nothing to fear about it as well. And we have our own COVID vaccine champion, Mr. Javed Akhtar here, mashallah, number one fan for Radio Aapki Awaaz, who has also came on 2-3 weeks ago to say the same thing. So, Brother Mukhtarim, we're going to come on to the bit about the vaccine now. And first of all, before even I put my question in, have you had the vaccine?
I haven't had the vaccine. I'm still waiting for it. Mine's probably due in April because of my age. I'm 52 at the moment, and in a few weeks' time I'll be 53.
Yeah,
so I'm still waiting for that.
Yeah,
I can't wait to have my vaccine.
Absolutely. So, okay, so let's get down to the main point of why Mukhtarim is here. We know within the Muslim community, within the Pashtun community, within the Mirpuri community, we have a 30% less uptake as a result of the misinformation, the conspiracy theories that people are perpetuating on social media, also on the street. Just to give you one example, Brother Mukhtarim, one of my relatives who is in his early 70s met someone on the street and they said to him, "Uncle or brother, do not take the vaccine. There is a DNA, there's a chip in there and it will kill you." And not only did he not take it, he told 20 other people. He told 20 other people, all 20 refused their appointment. And I got to know about it about 3-4 days later. And I said, "Look, you should be getting your letter soon." They said, "Yeah, we had a phone call from our GP. We declined it." I said, "Oh, okay." I thought they were going to give me a clinical or an evidence-based answer. And I said, "Why?" They said, "So-and-so in our family told me not to." And I obviously was very upset. So I phoned him. I said, "Look, what's the reasons for declining?" He said, "I just met someone on the road and he told me this." I said, "And one person says so, 20 people have refused to take it." He goes, "But I don't know they didn't take it or they refused. I just told them what I heard." And I then said to him, "In our family, we have a GP. I said, he's taken it. Not only he's also given it to his mum. If he can give it to his mum, then who are we to worry about our lives? What more precious is our mom than anything in this world?" So, so why do you think that the Pashtun community, the Mirpuri community, the Asians, the BAME, the Black Asian minority ethnic are faring 30% lower uptake compared to the overall UK population?
Because there's too much lies going on social media, and people are believing all the misinformation. But all I want to tell all these community, the Pathan community and all the Muslim community and the BMA community, when you go on holiday or when you go to Hajj, you take a vaccine. And when your kids are growing up, they all have vaccines. What's so wrong with this vaccine? There's nothing wrong with it. I've spoken to Public Health England and I said I've got some allergy against certain foods and they said you can take AstraZeneca. No problem.
No, absolutely as well. So, Javed, you want to ask a question?
Yeah, even if you want to go to Hajj or Umrah, the Saudis are saying you got to have the vaccine.
Absolutely, yeah, that's right. So Brother Javed, who's kindly in the show, he's just said that for anyone who wishing to perform Hajj or Umrah without a COVID vaccine certificate and proof, you will not be allowed to enter the country as well. And many employers will also be insisting as well. So I fully agree with you. And a huge number of people have the flu vaccines every year. And it's not the same flu vaccine every year. They are small changes to the vaccine because each year the flu vaccine changes. Yep. Yeah, and so that's just one example that I'm going to sort of share with you as well. So that is, whereas I have my own way of putting it, Brother Mukhtarim, no, fanfare, no sugarcoating. He told you how it is, and I'm quoting Brother Mukhtarim. He said these are absolute lies that people are telling on social media and also on street. Why would you ask people on the street about the vaccine when you've got GPs? When I need my car fixed, do I go to a doctor or do I go to a mechanic? Same example. So what would you say to your Pashtun community that maybe have declined their appointment or are sort of questioning whether they should go? What would your message be there?
I would tell them not to fear the vaccine at all. As soon as you get the letter, book the appointment and just have the vaccine, because your life is very important to you at the end of the day.
Absolutely, you're right. And the good thing is we are learning more and more about these vaccines. So if I have the vaccination now, and even if so that doesn't mean you can't get the coronavirus, you can. But what it means is there is a 90% less chance of you getting severe symptoms of coronavirus, which means that you have to go to hospital. So you will get the very mild symptoms of coronavirus, which in a day or two you will be able to recover from home. For example, I have my elderly parent who's 70 years old, is diabetes, he's had the vaccine. He will only get very mild symptoms of coronavirus, and thank God he doesn't have to go to hospital where, sometimes things can go a bit worse as well. So I think that is something that we want to get across. And also what we are now seeing is that once you have had the vaccine, there is now a 70% less chance of you passing the virus on to your family or friends as well. So these are compelling reasons for you to take the vaccine. So I've just got a couple of questions that I'm going to come to, but also I'm going to touch on, was it Layla Khan, your point around that how can we trust a vaccine that was made so far? So simple is that since the start of COVID, every government, every research center, every lab has worked 24/7 with unlimited resources to find these vaccines and the cure. So normally, because I work in the pharmaceutical center, it does take 4 or 5 years, many years to get a vaccine or any kind of drug to market. But, there's no impetus there. There's no sense of urgency there. And also it depends on, for example, now, I may do a series of tests. As soon as it's 5 o'clock, I'll email the results to someone. They may pick it up in a week's time, and they'll do their own interpretation. Whereas here, people were literally working day and night. As soon as the results were done or any kind of test was done, it was interpreted. Everything was being fast-tracked as well, simply because so many lives were at stake. Don't just look at this country where we have lost now close to 150,000 people in one country. Look at America, look at South Asia, look at Africa, look at South America. This is a worldwide pandemic. Every country, now there's not just AstraZeneca vaccine, there's not just the Pfizer vaccine, there are at least 30 odd vaccines that are either on market or very close to being market. You've got one by China, you've got one by Russia, you've got many other countries now that are producing their vaccines as well. So this was a international emergency that everyone was working towards as well. So I hope that reassures you that there was no cutting corners or this was a man-made conspiracy and how fast, now, or if you look at it, then Layla, we've had now 25 million people just in this country with a vaccine. If there was any side effects, if this was rushed through, then you know what, we would have deaths. We would have people waiting to be admitted into hospital. So I think you can be rest assured, please tell your family, friends, your parents that when they do get their vaccine, I want the vaccination, but unfortunately, because of my age, because I have got good health, even though I'm a key worker, they are saying that, I have to wait my chance as well. And alhamdulillah, I want someone who is older than me, that has maybe underlying conditions, to be prioritized over me. So what the NHS are doing in terms of priority groups makes absolutely sense. So sorry for this rant and for this passionate counter argument, simply because I don't want anyone to decline the appointment because of their concerns about the speediness of why the vaccine was published. And also, Layla, just final point from me before we move on, was normally when you submit to the MHRA, to the EMA, to the FDA, it'll take you anything between 3 and 6 months to get that approval. Because of the emergency, because of the amount of lives that were at risk, all 3 approval bodies fast-tracked it as well. And they looked at the data and they allowed it to happen. So I hope that's okay. Sorry for the rather passionate plea to take that on board. Sorry, I'm going to read some of your questions and comments. Sorry, where are we here? Pops is saying, might not get a letter, you might get a phone call. Absolutely. So a lot of people are getting phone calls from your local GP to go into health centres like the one on Croce Road, the walk-in centre, the one now in Green Lane Mosque is opening. I think it was this today.
Saltly also.
Yeah, Saltley Craddock Road Health Centre has also opened. I think Green Lane Mosque, I think it was yesterday, that was its first day. You've also got Awaaz Mosque over in Moseley. You've got the Villa Ground. You've got the Millennium Point. You know, if you want the vaccine and you are eligible, there are no shorter places for you to get your vaccine. So I hope that's okay. Pops is saying, okay. Oh, Tariq Ali, how are you, my brother? Hope you're well. You had me in stitches a couple of weeks ago with some of your comments. I tried my best to keep a straight face, but Tariq, had my jab today. Allah Malak, take prevention. The rest is in Allah's hands. Really, well done to you, Tariq, for your bravery in taking, and also for passing it on as well. That's what we have to do. You know, that peer-to-peer sort of advocacy, shall I call it, is very important. When I know Brother Mukhtarim's taken it, I will take it. When I know Brother Juvaid has taken it, I will take it. When I know Brother Ikram has taken it, I will take it. We have to spread that message as well. Layla Khan, what are the side effects of vaccine, please? A couple of side effects. One is obviously the point of the puncture, wherever the vaccine has gone. You may feel a bit of numbness there. It may feel a bit heavy. As with, when you have a flu vaccine, there's a bit of a sort of a soreness in that arm as well. The other side effect sometimes, and this will vary from person to person as well. So, I may have one side effect, someone else may be completely okay, someone else may be having something else. The other side effect that, I have experienced is, I've sort of had fed back is headaches, and also a temperature. And I know Brother Javed did a show on this, and what he said was that maybe before you go to sleep, have a couple of paracetamols just to stave off the temperature and the headache as well. So that's very good, sharing of best practice, Brother Clark, because the reason why Layla is concerned is because I think Layla has her mom. She's worried about her mom. And absolutely, Layla, and I think we have a duty to call out those individuals that are putting lies out there, conspiracies out there, because, forget anything else, as Muslims, if I think that, as a result of my forwarding a message or my uttering some words is going to cause you harm, then it is my Islamic duty to refrain from doing that. Unless you are a NHS medical professional or you have knowledge of these of the data, please do not become an expert overnight, because you don't know the consequences of your actions as well. So please, Sister Layla, I hope I can call you sister. She is concerned about her mom because of all the conspiracy theories, and I understand your concern, Layla. So that's why she's not being cheeky. All she's doing is she's trying to satisfy her concerns. Brother Mukhtarim, what are your thoughts about what we've just said?
You're right, because there's too many lies going around, and nobody wants to speak the truth. And you got your own GP, your doctors, and Public Health England. I question Public Health England so much about the vaccine. And like I said, when my turn comes, it'll probably be in April, inshallah. I'm taking my vaccine. I don't believe none of these conspiracies, and they're all lies, beined up lies.
MashaAllah, very well said. I couldn't have said it better and more succinctly as well. So one of the questions that Layla has asked is, how do I convince my mom to take the vaccine and don't believe the conspiracy theories? I will start first, and then I'll bring Brother Mukhtarim in there. First of all, I think it's worth you asking your mom to go to her trusted GP. We all have a very trusted relationship with our GP. They take a Hippocratic oath when they become doctors that they will do no harm, and that she has a relationship, she has a history, a track record with her GP, and he will or she will put her into the picture as to the evidence and the fantastic response that we've had. So that's one. Secondly is that maybe your mom's peers, so for example her Sahelis, her brother, sister, siblings or family that have had it, get them to share their experience to your mom as well. I think that will also work as well. Other than that, you can also go to the walk-in centre and just reassure and comfort her, and see the amount of people in Alam Rock as a result of the fantastic work that Radio Aapki Awaaz has done over the last 3 months now, you cannot get a appointment at Closure Road or at Saltley Health Centre on Craddock Road for love or for money, because now that we've started to reassure people, we were down by 30% compared to the national average. We have now decreased that by 10%. So we are still below, so 20% below, but we are continuing. And that's why we wanted Brother Mukhtarim here today. So he uses his platform to get the Pashtun community to also take it as well. So just to back to Sister Layla's point about, what can I do to get my mom to get her vaccinated when she's heard so many of these conspiracy theories?
To ring all our cousins, our friends, our relations, and ask them whoever's had it, and get feedback from them.
Yeah, absolutely. So none of us said as well. So I think there's nothing better than that. When I know that my brother or my sister has had it and they're okay from it, and like I said, people do experience side effects, small side effects. After a day, they subside. Then she will get confidence, and as a result, she will be okay. And now a lot of shops, a lot of Pakistan, you're going to Hajj. All these will require people to be vaccinated as well. So, it's just, I think it's a matter of course. I think by the time lockdown is eased on the 12th of April, you will see a lot more people asking to see the certificate in order for them to allow you into their premises or to their locations as well. Pops are saying on Saturday they had 800 people booked. Wow. Please, if you can tell me who's they. Are you talking about the Craddock Road, or are you talking about the Closure Road? I would imagine this is a Closure Road one, because they've only got the capacity to deal with 800 people. And it literally takes, now they've got it down to a T, it literally takes 5 minutes?
5 seconds.
It literally takes,
they distract you, and that's it.
Yeah, that's right. And it literally takes you, by the time you're in there and out there, 10-15 minutes, literally. That's all it takes, in and out. So, almost see it as like you're taking your flu vaccine. You wouldn't bat an eyelid when you're taking your flu vaccine. This is something similar as well. So, and like I said, the main thing is we have to have, the belief, Tawheed in the Almighty as well. And I think, as Muslims, we also have to have a responsibility to look after ourselves and also protect others as well. So I think that. So we're coming towards the end of the show. Oh wow, we have overrun. I hope you found it useful. We've still got another minute left. If you have got any questions in particular for Brother Mukhtarim, then please come onto the phone or onto the health centre main one. Yeah, that's fine. Thanks, Pops. Then we will get that on there as well. I think Brother Javed wants to keen. We will give him 5 minutes as well, because he's keen to sort of get his message out there. So, Brother Mukhtarim, last message from you to everyone, but in particular to the Pashtun community, about staying safe and also about the vaccine, please.
Just all of them need to be careful and social distance, and wear your mask when you're in the shops and you're going on the buses or trains, or if you're flying out, make sure you wear your mask, and always put a liquid on your hands and keep your hands clean, because it's very important. That's the best way to get rid of the virus from your hands. And when you do your shopping, when you go back home, make sure you wash your hands, and always have your mask on, because it's very important. And when you go into a Tesco or Asda when it's busy, try your best to social distance, because when it's busy it's hard to, but make sure you do, because there's so many people coming into Tesco or Asda. Like the other day I was in Asda, there were so many people pouring, and they weren't social distancing at all in Smalley, and they're rubbing against each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we don't want things like that.
No, that's fine. And just final message about encouraging the Pashtun to get the vaccine.
And don't believe all the lies. And if anybody tells you any lies, speak to your own GP or Public Health England. And remember, your health is your wealth.
Absolutely.
In Pashto. Just do a bit in Pashto.
Okay.
Explain it.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's fine if he wants to.
Okay. The vaccines ता ना वो है डेढ़ ज़रूरी है कतो दा चिटेरा वो शरीक का वो टेलीफोन तो की होम खुद वो दा vaccines ता ना वो है इस खतरा पर के नश्ता
MashaAllah, both cool. Thank you, Brother Mukhtarim. If you can just sort of make your way there. That was Brother Mukhtarim using his power and influence to encourage everyone to come in and have the vaccine done. And even though the lockdown is starting to ease, with the children starting to go back to school this week, it is important that we continue to look at the figures, monitor those over the next few weeks, because I know there's a lot more mixing going on and we don't want the COVID rates to go back up. We are going to spend the last 2 minutes just giving Brother Javed Akhtar, who was the star of the show, is Tariq Ali still here? No, he's gone. Who came in a couple of weeks ago, and we're just going to give him, because I know Layla, one or two were concerned about the vaccine. Someone who's been there, done it, who's had the vaccine now about 2 weeks ago. Brother Javed, just if you can, in a short, succinct way, tell us how you are 2 weeks on and what's your message to everyone.
Assalamu alaikum, my brothers and sisters. Yeah, Alhamdulillah, I'm still in good health. No issues, no nothing. The only side effect you have is in the first day when you have the temperature, the first night, and when you have a bit of redness and itchiness. That's normal with any vaccine that you take. My good tip is take 2 paracetamol as soon as you have the vaccine. On the night of the vaccine, before you go to bed, take 2 paracetamol. Hopefully that will get you through the night so you don't feel feverish or too hot. I still encourage you to take up the vaccine. Please save your life. You only live once in this earth. You're not going to come back. So protect yourself, protect the NHS, protect your family, protect everyone. The only way we're going to come out of this lockdown is if we all get vaccinated. That's where the roadmap is. That's how this government's going to ease the lockdown. As soon as the infection rate goes up, we don't want another lockdown. We already know the damage is being done to the economy. So we have the part to play. I would encourage you, take your vaccine. Nothing to worry about. I'm still alive. I had it 2-3 weeks ago. I'm waiting for the second one, and I'm going to be coming back on the show once I have my second vaccine, and I will give you another update about my experience and everything. Nothing to worry about. I encourage you, please don't be scared, don't be frightened. Look after yourself, and God bless.
Thank you. That was Brother Javed, just giving you his own personal experience to reassure those of you that are worried about the vaccine, especially to Sister Layla for her mother as well. So on that note, that was the end of a mammoth triple bonanza show today, where we had, in the first show at 8 o'clock, we had Jenny Wilkinson, who was the candidate for the Lib Dem for the Metro Mayor, came in and highlighting her vision. Then at 8:30 we had Brother Clark telling us how to complete the census form, especially capturing the Kashmiri ethnicity. And then lastly we had Brother Mukhtarim talking about the importance of social distancing and getting the Pashtun community vaccinated. And then right at the end we had a snippet by Brother Javed telling us that he's still alive 3 weeks after the vaccine. For those of you that are really concerned, nothing to worry about. If Javed can take it, then everyone else can take it. So on that note, until next week, please look after yourselves and each other. And inshallah, no doubt we will see each other again soon enough. Allah Hafiz.